You are welcome to the Principles of Marketing class. We are looking at price objectives, Session 2 under Unit 2, price objectives. By the end of this session, you should be able to describe the overall pricing objectives, list the 4 major goals of pricing, then explain the 4 major goals of pricing. Pricing objectives. Before any marketer could give a price to a product, it comes with an aim, what the customer hopes to achieve in the unforeseeable future. A firm's pricing goals falls into 4 major categories. We have market survival, increasing sales or sales growth, making a profit, which is everyone's goal, communicating a product image, that is the quality and image enhancement. We will take them one after the other. Market survival. In some instances, a firm must set prices to ensure its short-term survival. That is, the firm adjusts prices so it can stay in business. In some other instance, a firm may adjust prices upward if increased revenues are required. You realize that some supermarkets increase their prices rapidly because they want to remain in the market. They want to survive. When prices kept on increasing at an increasing rate, you realize that some people will not even go to buy the things in bulk, but can even change the price, even the time of purchasing, simply because they have the motive that if they sell the item to you in a lower price, they may not be in a better position to purchase the item when they are exhausted or when they get finished on the market. Because of that, market women were charging higher for or were pricing their products higher because they could be able to survive in the market. Frequent end of season deals by retailers represent efforts to move inventory and thereby recoup cash for investments in continuing operations and for purchasing new merchandise. Frequent end of season deals by retailers represent efforts to move inventory and thereby recoup cash for investments in continuing operations and for purchasing new merchandise. Sometimes retailers try to push their product to customers by giving out end of season deals or discounts so that they can be able to sell off their inventories to recoup cash for them to go in for new merchandise that will help them to sustain in business. You can't keep selling an outdated or obsolete merchandise or inventory. So sometimes what retailers do is that they try to sell out their old stock with lower pricing so that they can recoup the cash to purchase the updated inventory in the market so that their business could be sustained. Because if you keep on selling things which is outdated or obsolete, you may end up losing your customers. Similarly, manufacturers may reduce prices as new products are introduced in place of the existing models, just as I explained. Pricing for survival is a short-term objective. Pricing for survival is a short-term objective and not a long-term objective. However, at some point in time, profitability and return on investment may be satisfactory to ensure long-term success. If you are pricing so that you could be remained in the market, may not yield you profit. So what some marketers do is that at some point in time, they begin to think of profitability and return on investment that will ensure their long-term sustainability in the market. Another pricing objective is the sales growth. In most times, companies set prices to stimulate sales growth. Most companies decrease their prices just to increase sales. Realizing the price and sales volume are inversely related. When we say they are inversely related, we are trying to say that they have a negative relationship. That is, when prices increases, sales volume decreases, and when prices decreases, sales volume is enhanced. This is such that lower prices will normally increase volumes. It just works like the demand curve. The benefits from higher sales volume are based on the assumption that increased sales volume lower unit cost of production. You realize that when you sell more, you will use the number of units you have produced divided by the amount you have incurred in production. When more is being sold, the unit cost reduces, and when less is sold, the unit cost of production increases. Also, it is realized that when sales volume increases, it also increases the total revenue, that is the total sales which is being made. And a higher sales volume also increase profits at a lower unit price. Penetration pricing is often the strategy used to accomplish this objective. Penetration pricing has to do with offering a new product or service at a low initial price to gain customers' attention. So it often works best using the penetration pricing strategy. Firms set this pricing strategy in order to encourage initial product trial and generate sales growth, often as parts of the market entry strategies. If a new product is newly introduced into the market and it comes with higher price, it is difficult for people to purchase and try. But when it comes with lower pricing, it is very easy for people to purchase and try. After they have tried, the marketer could increase the price since the product has already gained ground. The assumption here is that the market is sensitive to price differences and that low prices will drive up sales. Customers are basically sensitive to price. They easily respond to price. Most customers will go in for lower price, except for only a few of them. In this case, short-term profits are sacrificed for future growth. When it happens this way, the firm or the marketing firm forgoes profits and rather look out for getting more customers or for future sales growth. Penetration prices is also useful for deterring new competitors and reducing short-term costs through high volume production runs, like the economics of scale I mentioned earlier. For international market entry, particularly for unknown companies or companies entering developing countries, a penetration approach is often useful. Once the product is priced lower, people would always dare to try. But if the price is set higher, it will be difficult to try. And once the price is set lower, more people would try. That will increase sales volume. And with the increase in sales volume, it will enhance sales growth in the near future. Another objective of pricing is the profitability. Maximization of profits is a frequently stated objective for many companies. Once the business is not a non-profit making organization, its main motive is to make profits. Yet this objective is very difficult to implement. Profit maximization requires a complete understanding of costs. Cost here signifies both fixed and variable costs. Profit maximization requires complete understanding of costs and demand relationships. Cost actually looks at both fixed and variable costs. And estimates of costs and demand for different price alternatives, which is difficult to obtain. Sometimes marketers can estimate cost and demand for different price alternatives. The demand has to do with customers showing interest or patronizing the product, and the cost has to do with the cost incurred in the production of the product. If prices are set too low, marketers' profits are insufficient. If you price the product too low, a marketer is not likely to make sufficient profit. If the prices are set too high, mostly no one will purchase. Clearly, however, adequate profits are required, and companies are sensitive to changes in profits over time as indications of performance. In certain prices, companies or marketing firms would have to be extra careful, because when you set low pricing, you may not get profits, and when you set higher prices too, nobody may end up buying your products. Therefore, marketers shouldn't set an outrageous price. The pricing should be reasonable in that it could factor in profit elements, not too much profit, because once you set an outrageous price, people sway away from your product. They tend not to purchase the products, and you could lose the profit elements you are looking out for. Therefore, there is a need for marketers to price reasonably so that their profit elements could be recognized. Competitive pricing. Competitive pricing. As the name goes, some will give their products a price in order to drive people away or to drive competitors away from entering their markets. Prices may also be set in reaction to competition, as in penetration pricing, whereby firms set a lower price to their products. A firm may keep prices low to inhibit competition from entering the market, or it may set prices close to those of lower price competitors to avoid losing sales. Some compare their pricing to how much competitors are pricing on the market, so that they could price something closer than that in order not to lose sales. Price competition occurs often when the competing brands are very similar, or when differences between the brands are not apparent to prospective buyer. When alternative price competition occurs most often when the competing brands are very similar, or when differences between brands are not apparent to prospective buyer. Every prospective buyer is not willing to pay a higher price for item which is already known, and the person knows that it is being priced at a lower price. No customer will be willing to pay a higher price to another seller. In this case, when the product is similar, or when the differences in the brands are not apparently shown or known, it is good to give it a price that is also charged by your competitors, so that at the end of the day, after buyers or consumers have compared the prices, they would know that the pricing strategy is not an outrageous one. Price competition may result in price wars, with prices spiraling downward in succeeding rounds of price cuts. People engage in price wars just to be kept in the market, because they believe that customers are pricing this amount and we need to charge somewhere around what competitors are pricing. If not, we will end up losing the market. Once this happens, a marketer may end up losing profit, or the marketer may end up not even gaining profit at all, just because he is pricing according to what competitors are also pricing. For all you may know, your competitor didn't incur the cost you incurred during the time of your production. So once you begin to look at the competitor, you may be forced to give it a price that is not your actual price to the product. They may lead to such low prices that all competitors operate at a loss in the short run. It is funny, competitors can be very mindful of how much their other competitors are pricing, and at the end of the day, they may all result in running at a loss. Price wars are frequent in the airline and computer software industries. You realize that with the airline industry, the airlines charge price which is closer than what their competitors are offering, And some people will actually consider the price of their competitor just to maintain sales or not to lose customers. And at the end of the day, these people may end up running at a loss. In non-price competition, the firm attempts to develop buyer interest in benefits such as quality, specific product features, or services. For this to work very well, customers must view the distinguishing attribute as desirable. For you to give a different price to a product which is also on the market sold by your competitors, you may have to hit on the distinguishing features or attributes of your product and that of your competitors. And if those attributes seem desirable to customers, they will end up coming to purchase your product. Finally, focusing on unserved target markets in which competition is minimal may allow a firm to charge higher prices. This is to tell you that let's take a monopolist for instance. With monopolists, you realize that the competition is very low. Let's assume you are the only person who is into the production of the said products you are selling. Since you are the only one selling that product and you are serving an unserved target market, you may end up pricing high because if the customer doesn't buy, where would the customer get your product, or where would the customer get such product to purchase from? Nowhere. And marketers take advantage of our customers when competition are very minimal or when they are the monopolists within the market. They tend to give a higher price because no matter what happens, the customer will still come back to them to make a purchasing decision. Another objective for pricing is the quality and image enhancement. People enhance quality and the image of the product through pricing. Firms often keep prices at a premium or at a higher point to maintain an image of product quality leadership. That is when we call it prestigious pricing or prestige pricing. Prestige pricing has to do with you setting a very higher price to a particular product. Example can be luxurious cars, luxurious watches, luxurious perfumes. People think that since their prices are very high, they come with a very high quality product. Prestige pricing is based on the promise that some buyers associate price with quality and avoid products or services for which they perceive prices are very low. I know of one friend who wouldn't even want to purchase anything that comes with low pricing, with the belief that such thing is of a very low quality. She believes that once the product is priced higher, it's of a very high quality product. Professionals such as lawyers, doctors, and consultants often charge high fees for similar reasons, just to communicate that they are giving an expert service. In these instances, low price might imply lower quality service or expertise. In summary, we have learned that a firm's pricing objective fall into four major categories, which includes market survival, increasing sales, making a profit, communicating a product image, that is quality and image enhancement. This brings us to the end of this session. I will see you in the next session. Thank you very much.